IVM. If you like listening to the Paodcast, check out Geek Fruit, hosted by Uber geeks Tejas Menon and Jishnu Guha. This show talks about geek culture from an Indian perspective. Star Wars, comic books, science fiction and fantasy, TV shows and more.
You're listening to the Paodcast, presented by the Daily Pal.
This is Pranuti,
Amit,
And Purva.
and we're from the dailypow.com, a Bombay-specific food and culture site, and this is our weekly podcast, the Paodcast. Now, this episode is an installment of Bombay Binge, in which we talk about food in the city, and today we're going to be talking about our favorite places in the Matunga and Mahim area. So stay tuned for Bombay Binge.
Hello, I'm Sanjeev.
and I'm Tushar.
And this is the Rotomouth Podcast, a weekly show where we talk about motors and motoring in India. Cars, bikes, rickshaws, buses, friends, familiars, and time pass.
Find us every week on the IVM podcast app or any other app you might use. Stuck in traffic? Put on Rotomouth. Taking a while in the loo? Rotomouth is there for you.
Dude, that sounded particularly disgusting.
Thank you. But seriously, catch Rotomouth every week.
Bombay Binge.
So now listeners of our podcast will know that we've been doing a series of oldie but goodies. That is, we've been talking about old restaurants that we revisit from time to time. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about our favorite old places in the Matunga and Mahim area. Now, I want to start with Matunga, and I want to start with this debate, which I'm sure everyone has an opinion
Yes,
on.
I know what
and
you're
the
talking
debate
about.
is this. Which is better, Cafe Madras or Cafe Mysore?
Yeah, well, I would say Cafe Madras only because I've only gone there. I don't even recall the time I went to Cafe Mysore, which I'm sure I've been to, but it's been so long ago.
You know, you can't say one is better than the other. They're both actually very good. You can't, Madras is really popular, and it is more popular of the two, but their food is actually good, which is why people flock there. It's not like it's overhyped or anything.
No, it's outstanding. The dosas
Yeah.
are great.
Yeah.
But, I would say that of the two, I prefer Mysore.
Why is
that? Because of the dosas. I think the dosas are better at Mysore. So,
Okay.
I have the Mysore dosa
Fair
over
enough.
there.
I think I've only eaten the idlis at Cafe Mysore. Which one do you get?
So, they have that jackfruit leaf idli, which is quite nice. It's very dense.
Yeah, the koto idli.
Exactly.
Even the idli house serves it.
Yeah,
Even Idli House
has
serves
that,
it.
yeah.
But the dosas itself, the Mysore dosa over there, this Mysore masala paste that they use, it's really good.
Okay.
And the dosas are, I don't know, they're just crisp. The batter is incredible. And I think as far as the dosas are concerned, Mysore scores slightly over Madras. The Madras has a dosa that Mysore doesn't have. And this is the tappa dosa.
Yeah.
Which is this amazing, pillowy, thick
Yeah.
dosa. Almost like an uttapam in consistency, but it has this really lovely soft center. It's like a soft center dosa.
And Cafe
essentially.
Mysore does not serve white butter, does it?
I don't think it does.
You know what? This is actually a good enough reason to go. Well, now you've given me an excuse to go to Mysore, because you always have to wait at Cafe Madras, which can be a bit frustrating.
And this is because Mysore is bigger. It has more
Yeah.
space inside, which is why you don't wait so long.
Yeah, no, okay. So, there you go. You
so
got a
we've
tip.
got,
You've got
you
those
know
two
where
out of
you
the way.
are on this side of the debate.
Yeah, but Idli House, which we just talked about,
Yeah.
Idli House is also great because, who knew before Idli House opened that there was so many
Varieties.
Well,
different
apparently they're at
varieties?
13. I don't know if
No,
they've
they're about
increased
15.
that.
They're
Okay,
like a
so there's
little,
more. Yeah.
between 15 and 20.
Right.
And they've got a whole bunch. They've got something called the Kanjivaram Idli, which is basically, it's dry fruits.
Yeah.
It's filled with dry fruits. I suppose that's what makes it rich, like the Kanjivaram.
One of my favorites
weave.
there is the pepper idli. It's really
Yeah,
nice.
they do a spicy
and,
pepper idli, which is
it's
really
great.
nice.
It's a great cure for colds. So go
Yeah,
there if you
I
have a
need that right
permanent
now.
sinus issue. But it's a really sweet, small little
a tiny
space.
place.
and
Yeah, it's like
I
a
love that it's so
box.
focused.
Yeah.
When everybody around them is doing like everything in the South Indian spectrum, these guys are just focusing on idlis. It's
They
great.
do an upma idli as well.
And like speaking of koto idli, which is like we said, that's wrapped in it's steamed and wrapped in jackfruit leaves. They also do something called the mudho idli, which I discovered only there. And these idlis are steamed in the leaves of the kedki flower. Again, it just lends the idlis. Both these are like more aromatic,
right?
And just they're mildly flavored. Like it's not like it tastes exactly like a jackfruit or anything, but they're just like mild.
Yeah. So what's great is that when you get to eat idlis of so many textures at this place, which you don't get anywhere else. Like most places just serve your standard rice idli. But
and it's remarkable because it's really I think that in Matunga this is one place that should be highlighted because it really exposes you to the different types of idlis that are made in homes, you know.
I don't know how many of these are made in homes, but like I think that there are also like, but you know what's impressive is that they haven't like gone and done like 101 idlis. You know,
but then you'd have the Shezwan and all the bastardized versions.
Relatively sort of I think between 15 and 20. But you know they're owned by the same guys who run Ramanayak and who do like I think one of the best South Indian thalis.
Set meals.
So Ramanayak is actually I remember going there a really long time ago, and it's a really simple sort of canteen style space. There's nothing to look at over there, and it's a really quick moving, you know, one of those like those bhavan meals. And it was founded in 1942, and here they give you two options. You can either eat in a steel plate or you can have it on a banana leaf. And they encourage you, there's actually a sign at Ramanayak that says that we encourage you eat at the banana leaf, and the benefit of eating on the leaf is that they then give you seconds and thirds. You don't get that option with the plate.
I think that they have a limited and unlimited options. They have both.
No, when I ate that, this was clearly what it said, that you get unlimited when you eat on the banana leaf.
Yeah, because this means they don't have to wash the thali, I guess. They just throw the banana leaf.
But it is a pretty, like, I mean, you get everything.
It's simple, So...
Yeah, I mean, you get rotis, rice, you get sambar, rasam, you get different types. I think a different type of vegetable.
It's just very simple home-cooked food, but just very tasty.
There's rasam, dal, you know, they give you rice, puris, chapatis, you can choose.
A different vegetable curry that they make, and I think it changes by the day.
Yeah.
So they do that, and they, And
it's really popular. Like a lot of the locals just would not, like, eat there instead of eating at their homes, you know, it's really home style.
Yeah. And well, one of the Udupis in the Matunga area that I really like, it's very small, and it's called Amba Bhavan.
Yeah.
And you get snacks there. Again, good thali, but you get snacks there that you don't find in other places very commonly. Like, you know, you get banana fritters, for example. You get a really good vada dunked in sambar, which is fairly common, but the one over here is quite yum. You get great pongal, and their coffee is outstanding. It's a small place. You have, you know, these wooden chairs and tables, and it's a split level joint, and it looks like, you know, it hasn't changed in 50 years, which it probably hasn't. But just great for like an evening snack and a coffee.
Yeah, I actually wanted to ask you that, where you think you get the best filter coffee.
You know, most of these places do really great filter coffee, and I've had filter coffee in every Udupi that I have been to in the Matunga area, and I've been to several. People love Anand Bhavan's filter coffee. And if you stand outside Anand Bhavan, which is around the corner from Cafe Mysore, you smell the filter coffee. But you know what? All of them do great filter coffee. They probably get their coffee from the same place. I don't know. But the coffee it's pretty terrific in all these places, as far as I can tell. There's also a non-Udupi place which is quite famous and which we really like is Kular.
And we've talked about it before in our episode about Irani Cafe.
Exactly, and this is just off the Maheshwari Udyan Circle, and it's an Irani Cafe. It was set up in 1932, and there's a little memorial just outside the cafe to the family's dog that passed away some years ago. But, you know, they do, you know, like all Irani cafes, they do great eggs.
They do something called the wrestler's omelette, which is their speciality.
Which was initially made with 8 eggs. Now they make it with 5
5,
eggs.
yeah.
And I don't know if they've reduced that since the
Yeah.
last time I went. But they also do really good, they do a chicken omelette. They do a great burji pav. And their keema pav is also
It's quite
great.
nice. It's
And the
quite
owner's
nice.
very temperamental, but he's great to customers. But he's always like abusing his poor staff.
Yeah.
So, he's
But it's
quite a
also one of
character.
those very picturesque Irani restaurants, and it it appears in many movies. Like, some months ago I watched Naam Shabana, and there's a scene in which she's waiting for a call in Cooler Cafe. So it's really nice. It's got these old-fashioned chairs and tables, these round chairs and tables, and really nice wooden paneling. So it's a very nice-looking place. And moving on to Mahim. Now, Purva, you've eaten your way through Mahim.
Yeah, I did. So around Feb, I did a story on the best seafood in Mahim, where we just covered these 5 iconic spots on LJ Road. They're great. My favorite among them is Fresh Catch. It was set up in 1998, and I think when it comes to Bombay seafood, it's just one restaurant I recommend everyone over Trishna and Ghazali and everything. Fresh Catch belongs to Francis Fernandez, and he basically took his mother's recipes. Fiona Fernandez, she drafted the first menu for the restaurant, and they're still using those recipes, even though she does not live here. And
And the place really looks like a living room.
Yeah,
because
it-
it's very sweet.
Yeah.
It's got
Plastic
very
tablecloths
homey,
and these sort of,
tablecloths and little knickknacks.
yeah,
And
it's got pink walls.
Pink
They're
walls,
the color
that's
of
right.
Digeen, as I wrote, but they really are. And they have like these red tablecloths and like a lot of mirrors and wood paneling. So yeah, it's super old school. So stuff that you need to definitely try at Fresh Catch is their rava bombil fry. It's perfect. I love rava as a batter. They do something called the Konkan treasure prawns, and this is has become one of their signature dishes now. It's basically like they serve these nice juicy pieces of prawn that are cooked in a semi-dry gravy, which has a lot of garlic and coriander. Then they have one of the best like spiced clams cooked with onion. So their spiced clam is great. You can have all of this with their neer dosa. There's also their reshad prawns, their ambutik curry, which is ambutik is basically made with Kashmiri chilies, tamarind and kokum. They have a rosa curry, which is coconut milk and Kashmiri chilies.
basically
They're
everything
all-
on the menu.
Basically,
Yeah,
it seems
there's
like
a
everything
lot-
on the menu. And I'll
there's a
give you
lot to have.
piece of Bombay trivia. Apparently, Fresh Catch is Sachin Tendulkar's favorite
It
restaurant.
is, and there are pictures of him on their.
Yeah.
They have like this little photo board, and I think there's
Yeah.
Madhuri Dixit there as
Yeah.
well. So, also Francis actually picks up. He's very involved in the functioning of the restaurant, even though it's just he doesn't need to check in now because the kitchen pretty much knows the drill. But he actually goes to Mahim market and picks up the fish every day himself. And I remember him telling me that he is known as Dr. Fish in the Mahim market because often when the vendors try and sell him something that's not particularly fresh, or he can spot it better than like they can't basically dupe him into buying old fish, which is really comforting. So yeah, Fresh Catch is a must. It's a Bombay gem.
And then you also went to Sushegad.
I did. So you know what's interesting about this Mahim stretch? Like I said, it's all LJ Road, and they're all within walking distance. So you can make the hop from like Karnataka to Goa to Kerala. Within 8 minutes, you'll be trying a different
That's
type
right.
of coastal
Seafood, but yeah,
preparation.
Yeah.
So that's the brilliant part about it. Sushegad, you like as well?
I do
probably.
like, and I mean, I remember going there not very long ago, and I really like the tisriya. In general, I like tisriya.
Yeah.
Just
And
clams.
Clams, yeah. And I love the tisriya. It's like in this, semi-dry gravy.
Yeah.
And they also do good meat.
Yeah.
So their mutton and their chicken sukka is pretty good. It's like it's a hole in the wall.
It's literally 5 tables.
Yeah, it's 5 tables, and I have to say, it's not the cleanest place.
Yeah.
But this is something that you can just, I don't know, ignore because the food is just outstanding. And it's made by this, it's owned by this mother and son.
Yes, so
And-
Savita Karekar and her son Raju. So it's really cute because when you walk into the space, you see these tables and they have like this kitchen with the kitchen is at the back of the restaurant, and they have like this little window so you can look in, and Savita often stands there, so that serves as the pass for the dishes to come through.
Yeah.
And you can see like she's like this little petite lady and her head pops up, so it's very comforting to know that she's actually doing the cooking practically daily.
Yeah, and Sushegarad is famous.
Yeah.
Like it's famous, but it's still such an unassuming little place.
Yeah, so I've been there 3 times, I think, all for stories, and all 3 times I saw the traffic cops in the area, and there are a lot in Mahim. They come there a lot, and she does a fantastic prawn cutlets. They're, again, coated in semolina batter, and they have like these tiny shrimp inside the cutlets, so that's pretty good. They have like this bombil thali. What's really great is that they've put up this chart of their seasonal, like the seasonal fish and what they serve per thali. So bombil is all year round, but they also do like pomfret, bangla, they do mandeli, shark, they do surmai, mudoshi, which is ladyfish, and also green mussel.
Right.
So you can have all of these in the form of their thali, which is inexpensive. And it's lovely. They do like I found their fish curry was quite spicy.
Right.
But it's a great place if you're just shopping for a lunch in Mahim.
And these are both Goan places, right? So you mentioned...
Sushegarad, has food from the Konkan coast.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got Mangalorean items, it's got Malwani items, and there's a fair amount of overlap between these cuisines. But I mean, you can say it's got food from the coast.
Yeah, but the family is from Goa.
Right.
So...
Yeah. Well, and next door to Sushegarad is Sneha, which is known for its beef. Yes, the B word. It's known
Buff.
for its Kerala beef buff. Well, yeah, they serve buff, and this is like the one item everyone goes there to eat.
Yeah, the buff fry with paratha.
Exactly. But you went there and you found that they also do decent fish thali.
Yeah, so I had the surmai thali, and there's a lot on that plate, so a lot of these lunch homes would just pass off like a fish in a gravy, 1 piece of fried fish, chapati and rice, maybe 1 vegetable or not even. But here, in addition to like this really big chunk of fried surmai, you get a curry, you get beans, thoran, rasam, sambar,
this is
dal,
a Malayali
papad.
place.
Yeah, it's a proper Malu joint, and it's like there was enough for me to actually pack and take home. So it's a great lunch for, especially if you're working in the area or if you got a pretty laborious job. It's a great place to come and have, an inexpensive 200 rupee thali with fish.
Right.
And so many sabzis.
Right. And right next door to Sneha is Medina, which serves, similar food. Like, again, Medina is just really known for its buff, really. So that's the biggest reason to go to Medina. But there's also a famous Faluda place in Mahim.
Yeah, so Baba Faluda is one of those places I think that is open all year round, but people just sort of tend to flock to it during Ramzan. And we did a guide to places to eat around the city during the month of Ramzan, and Baba is one of the places in Mahim, and they do something called their special Faluda, which has got it's got some ice cream that's topped with like rabdi, kulfi and dry fruit, so it's really rich.
Not something we should be recommending, but okay.
They also do kulfis, which are not bad, but yeah, I mean, out of all the places, I think that you're having this meat sort of fish heavy meal, you might want to just walk across to the next lane.
So you can have a really heavy fish thali and then top it up with an equally, if not more heavy, faluda. Anyway, so that's it for our roundup of oldie but goodies in the Mahim and Matunga area, and we'll be back next week. For more on what's happening in the city, read thedailypao.com. Also subscribe to our newsletter on the website. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. We're The Daily Pao. You can find new episodes of the podcast every Monday on the IVM Podcast app or any other podcasting app that you prefer, and on thedailypao.com.
Excuse me, bhaiya. एक्सक्यूज मी,
बोलिए मैडम।
मेन्यू में क्या है?
मेन्यू में सीन अनसीन है, पॉडकास्ट है, ऑन कोर्स है, साइरस है, मेड इन इंडिया, रीडिस्कवरी प्रोजेक्ट, एम्पावरिंग सीरीज, सेक्स वैक्स है, IVM लाइक्स है, सिंप्लीफाइड है, कीपिंग इट क्वियर है, थिंग्स एंड डेस्टिनेशंस है, माय नेबर जकरबर्ग है और द फैन गराज है। आपको क्या चाहिए?
एक बार रिपीट कर देंगे क्या?
रिपीट नहीं करता हम। आप जाओ IVMpodcast.com पे और सुनो ये सब, या फिर डाउनलोड करो उनका ऐप, सब आपकी उंगलियों पे।